and welcome to this special Christmas episode of Anime Audio Commentary. Today I'll be commenting on episode 16 of Toradora. If you'd like to watch along, then start watching now. So, I welcome our new Taiga Overlord. Yeah, I feel like this is, in a sense, a prologue to Kill la Kill. You know, this is how Satsuki came to power, ruling Onoji Academy with an iron fist. Of course, in actuality, this is a total false flag. Taiga's bluffing here, and a bunch of people are going along with it to try and goad Kitamura into action. You know, I don't blame him not wanting to run just in general, but at the same time, I feel like this is, rather extreme. It seems like a lot of people don't initially care. Man, I feel like if I was in Kitamura's shoes, I'd just double down, because this is obviously a farce. Man, they really just spilled the beans to the teacher just because she took a microphone to the head. They don't seem very dedicated to operational security here. You know, I like how they sort of discussed this with everyone and got everyone on board with their harebrained scheme. Like, the teacher is being surprisingly sensible in that she's saying, you know, if nobody runs to oppose Taiga, then she will be elected by default. And, like, really, nobody wants that. Anyone who believes Taiga's threats won't want it. Taiga herself won't want it because it's responsibility and, quite frankly, a gigantic pain in the fundament. But, nonetheless, they're sold on this. You know, they have to make it look convincing, so Taiga's giving speeches, putting up posters. Making a general nuisance of herself, I feel. Like, they make these posters that look like they're dripping with blood. Like, it's obviously completely silly. I feel like Kitamura knows enough to know that something's not entirely above board here. Like, he's probably not doing anything because he truly doesn't want to do it. But at the same time, like, he knows that this is just a farce. Like, if something actually bad were going on here, he might be forced into a corner to actually do something. But I mean, for all we know, Kitimer is kind of a bit out there. He might think that this is actually like a good thing for the school. You know, essentially being ruled over by Taiga and her iron fist. Uh-oh. I get the feeling something has changed for the worse. Uh-oh. Seems like Kitimer has done something to earn Ryuji's ire. Oh dear, I think I know what's going on. So the president's leaving for America, so clearly there was some sort of romantic involvement, so it seems as though Kitamura might be doing something drastic. Although to be fair, it looks like somebody already did wallop him a little bit. I'm wondering what precisely happened. Wow, so I guess the student council president's got a pretty good track. You know, she's been invited to a fairly exclusive university to study to be an astronaut. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into stuff like that. You have to be in good physical condition as well as mental condition. It might be apocryphal, but I seem to recall that if you want to be an astronaut, you can't have any cavities in your teeth. Because I guess leaving the atmosphere will, like, rattle them out of your teeth, and that's no good. I don't know. That might be, like, a rumor. So I guess, in retrospect, one kind of has to wonder at why precisely Kitamura was taking this line of action. Because even he himself admits that nothing he's done would have gotten the president to stay. Oh man, speak of the devil, and she shall appear. You know, maybe I'll have Taiga beat the crap out of me too. Oh, I am vindicated. Kitamura knew. He saw through the whole thing. Of course, it seems like things may have worked out. You know, he's feeling, it seems to me, a bit better about himself. So he may actually, you know, come to a conclusion where he can continue on as normal. With or without the farce of this student council presidency business. Oh, is he gonna tell her? I feel like it would only worry her unduly. Yeah, I don't think there's really a right answer in that situation. Man, she's really selling it. You know, if you don't vote for me... Oh boy. Unfortunately for her presidential campaign, it seems that Kitamura is now back to normal. You know, he's a good sport for playing along with it, I guess. Uh-oh. Man, nothing is ever easy. Jeez, it all comes down to a matter of paperwork. If he doesn't fill in the form, he can't run. Oh, dear. I'm wondering if he's, playing silly here. Okay, so he's going back again. Kitamura is truly an enigma. What the hell is going on through his mind here? Okay, so it would seem as though the only reason Kitamura actually joined the student council was because of a girl. And... So evidently it didn't go very well. Wow, this really is kind of like Kill la Kill in a weird sort of way. The only thing that's missing is like the clacking sound of her heel against the concrete. So I guess student council wasn't really a passion of Kitamura's. It was mainly the president that sort of got him involved and shanghaied him into the whole thing, and that's the only reason he enjoyed it at all. I can understand why he wouldn't want to do it, even if he is perhaps the best suited for the job. Oh dear. I would have thought the president would have already left by now, seeing as how she hasn't been involved in much of anything. She does make a couple good points, though. You can't just wallow in self-pity, and there is a degree of responsibility. But, again, at the same time, to really get hung up on him being the next student council president, he doesn't have to do it. It might ultimately be good for him, but to force him to do that is... I don't know. Doesn't sit well with me. So I guess just like that, he's back in again. Of course, whether or not he makes the deadline is the bigger issue. Alright, so Taiga just ended up dropping out of the race, too. That kind of gives away the game, don't you think? One would think it would have been better to just go through it the whole thing, deliver a speech and everything, and really see things through to the end. Kitamura. Oh, jeez, dude, right in front of the entire school? Man, far bolder than I would have been. Man, I feel like there's no way this is gonna end well. Poor guy. And doing it in front of the entire school is only gonna make it worse. Oh, jeez. I don't know if that's worse than a straight answer. I mean, in a sense, it's a resounding no by avoiding the question and saying, boy, isn't he funny for making a joke like this? Oh, man. That is unequivocally the worst way she could have answered the question. Good lord. Oh, jeez. You know, I think that whole speech about there being more to life than high school, I mean, I don't know. That, in my experience, is not entirely true. You know, I know quite a few people who have never really moved on from high school, and I've been out of high school for quite a few years by this point. Like, it's probably different in Japan, but, you know, there are some people for whom there is no more to life. Sad as it is, you know, I don't think you can really force people. Man, I do feel a bit bad for Taiga too, considering how she is in the inverse of the situation from before. You know, not being able to help someone who's done so much for you. Uh-oh. Oh dear. President's really in for it now. Oh dear. I feel like Taiga's gonna crack her head open with that sword. You know, I said it kind of jokingly before that this episode kind of reminded me about Kill la Kill, but more and more it really seems like an apt comparison in a weird sort of way. So they're both drawing swords now and preparing to fight in the middle of a classroom. Wow. It's been so long since I last watched Toradora that I don't remember this at all, but man, you know, Taiga actually has found a bit of a match in the president in that she seems quite capable of fighting back. Man, I completely forgot about this. Like, this is a surprising amount of violence for what is ostensibly a romantic comedy. Well, maybe not comedy, but definitely more romance than anything else. Well, it seems like now that they've gotten all the hitting out of their system, they can now talk somewhat freely. Well, we finally got it out of them. It turns out they were both far more similar than either of them would care to consider. And interestingly, they both do indeed care about Kitamura, although the president was taking into account the fact that he's a very devoted and borderline obsessive person. So I guess ultimately, the president made her confession and Kitamura heard it, so, I guess in that sense, Taiga lost out. But I'm more concerned about what sort of punishments are going to be handed down for not only fighting, but viciously fighting on school grounds. Like, considering that it ended with bloodshed. Like, I mean, I guess that's the key difference between Kill la Kill and this, Kill la Kill, fighting is a matter of course, but in this I'd imagine there would be some serious punishment or expulsion for fighting like they did. Especially considering they brought swords and then discarded them and started pummeling each other with their fists. Well, there we have it, I guess. Suspended for 2 weeks for starting a fight like that. I mean, I guess that's fair. Alright, so it looks like we get a little after credits scene just to resolve anything that might have been left unsaid. Alright, well that's it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, then by all means, tune in for the next one. Merry Christmas, Space Cowboy.